Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for joining me again today. I will be doing a quick market watch video. I don't have anything that I specifically really want to go over, so I'm just going to kind of go through each of the sets for Riftbound, see what catches my eye, and kind of talk a little bit about it. Once again, this is all my opinion. My opinions have not always been on maybe par with reality, but this is coming from someone who's very conservative with his card game purchases. So this is just my experience from playing One Piece for a while, playing Riftbound for a little bit, and playing Magic before that. So take this with a grain of salt, but I just figured I'd go through and see what catches my eye. I want to start with Proving Grounds though. So for any of you potential Master Yi enjoyers, this actually is now a pretty reasonable price. I ended up picking up Proving Grounds right around when we hit this spike here. Luckily I didn't pay above market for it, so it wasn't a huge deal to me, but it's still expensive, but it's relatively affordable now. And then the rest of Proving Grounds seems to have relatively calmed down here. Flash, with the release of those Flash promos that got distributed to stores, this really drove down price, which I love to see that. We shouldn't be paying that much for a common card. But aside from that, obviously the exclusive cards are still a little bit expensive. Lux seems to have a little bit of an uptick. That might be from the Infinite Combo Lux, maybe. Don't know if she did well at a recent tournament. Could also just be people buying Lux because, Lux. But not too much else going on there. As for Origins, oopsie daisy. Let's get the conditions set. And let's go from the top. Signatures look like they're still doing their thing. We see this big uptick right here. This was around when the whole Riftbound investing thing really kicked off. Still not a huge fan of that, but the downside of using TCG Player as a price point for the market, and as basically the sole price point, is that it can be easily manipulated. I guess you'll have to go off of last sold, but even last sold is absolutely ridiculous, because ain't nobody paying $49,000 for a drink sig, unless they're completely delusional. But because of the buyouts, obviously not a whole lot of these signatures left in the market, which allows people to easily manipulate them, so not a whole lot else to be said there. I am a little surprised to see some of these still at not a reasonable price, but like a sane price. I guess that's just Gunnar card versus Volibear. So take that as you will. As for the standard overnumbers though, Ari and Kaiza continue to be kind of obscene. Looks like Ari has actually calmed down a little bit since I last checked. I don't know if the reprints have hit yet. I know they're coming. I don't know if they've hit stores yet though. I still am looking to get some of these overnumbered, but I don't want to get them at this price. Kind of missed the boat on some of them, obviously. But, we see this little cooldown here, and I'm hoping it'll stabilize at a lower floor. Kaiza, I believe, ticked up again this past week. Yeah, her low's back up to like 75-ish. Rangar ended up doing really well with Prismatism's deck. I struggle to pronounce his name, sorry. And so she got a little bit of an uptick because people were scrambling to buy that because he runs a free of. Time Warp is back up again. Not entirely. I don't have a whole lot of insight on that one. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just because it's playable. Or maybe people were like speculating on Echo or something. But aside from that, it's the standard set of customers. Seal of Discord is back up because Kennen is running a playset of seals. Some Kennens, like my Hook Kennen, are also running Seal of Unity. Falling Star, still one of the best rares in the game. And given that we've seen a lot of red decks do it really well, like Rek'Sai and Rengar, who sometimes run Falling Star, it's not a huge surprise to me. Baited Hook, once again, still just a staple. Dazzling Aurora is down a little bit. We've seen Jaces doing alright, but we haven't seen a lot of Auroras doing obscenely well. You could probably wait for the reprints on this one, but this wouldn't be a bad time to snag your Auroras. I mean, it's basically the lowest it's ever been. So, food for thought on that one. I already have 2. I don't know if I need a 3rd yet, just because I don't think I'm playing Aurora right now. Zonia's seeing a lot of play in the tournaments right now. I don't have a whole lot of commentary to offer on some of these, just kind of scrolling through and seeing what catches my eye. This Teemo ult, I think, was bought out when the investors came in. Yeah. Like, there's absolutely no reason that this should have been bought out to that degree. I mean, we didn't even see that when the that one random Teemo deck got, like, top 8 in Australia or whatever it was. So, that is kind of just obscene to me. I would not pay $16 for his Teemo ult unless you really want it. Especially because I don't see that card being played outside of Teemo. And then, yeah, not a whole lot else that's exciting from there. Some of the other rares like Nocturne and Bryn here have picked up again, just because of playability. Then Rasa saw a little jump as well, that's what I was trying to find. But aside from that, I'm a little surprised to see Defy up here, but I guess we haven't gotten a huge reprint of it in recent memory. So moving on to Spirit Forge. This has been one of the primary targets for buyouts. Some of the overnumbers hit ridiculous prices, like Vayne here. I don't know who decided this was a good idea, but you know, you do you. Looks like maybe it's come down a tiny bit, but like, good lord. You would not catch me dead buying this. And the part that really kind of grinds my gears about the whole scalper investor situation is it really slows down sales. So it's hard to get like an accurate price point on these just because you're seeing that, like, okay, we don't have a whole lot of data now in the recent days. Everyone's holding on to their copies or trying to sell it for an obscene price. Aurelia still remains... Oh, never mind. She got bought out. Take that back. Yeah, I don't think there's a single Spirit Forged overnumber aside from like maybe the seals that are now a reasonable price. Azir got spiked. Fiora got spiked. Rek'Sai, I think, is close to 100. And this isn't... Like, it got a little more action because it did well with Skillington's list at... or whichever one I was reviewing. Like, Rek'Sai is doing well, but this spike is not natural. That's still just buyouts. And then the seals are not as popular because, you know, it's not an elite character. So if you want a relatively affordable overnumber, these are still kind of the way to go. Like, it looks like they tried to buy it out, or maybe... I'm actually more inclined to believe that this one was maybe the reveal season. So, you know, if you want an overnumber, then I guess seals are your way to go. I recently picked up a playset of Seal of Unity. I didn't think it was an unreasonable price. I ended up getting it for about 60-ish, and yeah, it's still in the ballpark. So there you go, I guess. But then you have things like the, you know, Furry Darius, and it's like, well, I don't think that's warranting a $40 price, and you can see that not a lot of other people do either. Just looking at the kind of before and after the buyouts is interesting to me. But aside from that, Defiant Dance remains high just because Aurelia is good. Same with Aurelia Fervent, Rek'Sai, and the associated package are being bought out, or not bought out, but they're being purchased just because Rek'Sai's been doing well. I do find it interesting that the Alt-Art Rek'Sai and the regular Rek'Sai are comparable in price. So if you're in the market for a Rek'Sai, regular is around 13, the Alt was around 14. To me, if I was picking between the two, I'd take the Alt. I like the card. That's personal preference, though. Draven has been doing a little bit better in recent weeks, so Spinning Axe is starting to uptick again. Not by a huge amount, but, you know, it's there. Fizz, very playable card. Premonition is getting played in Nasus. You know, this is all common sense stuff. I don't need to spend too much time on it. Then anything that's a really playable rare, Bellows Breath Ferris is seeing some movement. Let's see here. I'm not seeing anything else that's really surprising to me. Yeah, I mean, it's a good time to get your Spirit Forged signature spells if you want to play anyone. But I think aside from that, we're basically good to go on this front. So, let's go on to Unleashed. Baron, it's our technically highest rarity card, so obviously we've seen quite a bit of action. But, you know, you don't have any sales because nobody wants to buy it at this price. That last little blip was the August 1st purchase, so I think this is an unreasonable price for Bear, and I think market somewhat agrees. Then again, I think we just don't have a whole lot of people who are wanting to sell theirs, so it's interesting to see. A little sad. Signatures, same story. I don't need to harp on those. Poros have been a huge target for buyouts. I think I could see the Poros settling down a little higher than they were. I wish they'd go lower, but we'll just have to see on that. I think I was surprised to see Daring Poro jump so much. I actually sold mine at about the top of the curve. I think I sold it for like 150 or 100 cash and 50 in a baited hook. That's what I think beta hook was at, about that. And I ended up buying it for 60. I don't like trying to flip cards for profit, but it just seemed kind of common sense to me because I wasn't going to be able to get the other Poros in the set. So I was just like, I need the baited hook anyways. And yeah, it's cooling off a little bit, but you know, this has been a big target for the investors, so I'd expect the Poros to stay up, although hopefully this floor comes down a little more. I am pleased to see that we've had a little bit of a rebound on some of these cards, but we'll just have to give it a little more time. And then your standard overnumbers, I think some of the popular characters like Vi got bought out because someone just like searched for popular league characters and, you know, Vi comes up, whatever. So that was a buyout target. Kha'Zix, I think, recently got bought out. He's not even doing particularly well in tournaments. I think he just kind of got passed over on the first lap. Same with things like Ivern. Like, obviously, Ivern's not the best card, or best deck, so cool art. I don't think it's worth $80, but that's personal preference. But we see this unnatural spike here, which is when we hit the buyouts, and then obviously action has cooled down a little bit. So, and then the alt arts from this set are actually, I mean, these are some of the most playable cards in the game. I think these are reasonable prices. Baron's increased a little bit. I think it's gone up about $5 since the start of Vendetta. Ruination, seeing a lot of play in Kennen for a little hunt. Ended up getting a spike off of the Rengar win, like I was saying. Ended up grabbing mine, just in case I want to play Rengar. And then I think that should be about it. These are actually reasonably low prices for alt-art runes if you're in the market for a playset. Might actually end up snagging some Fury runes later. Unless Kha'Zix is doing well at a tournament right now. There's the one in the showdown in Germany, so maybe Kha'Zix is topping there and I'm just not aware of it. But yeah, nothing else too strange here. If you want your Rift Heralds, now's a good time. I bought this sucker when he was like obscenely expensive back here. I think right around this little spike. So, okay. I did want to make one point. Actually, this is the only thing I had pulled up on the side. If you're in the market for an Ivern leader, or legend, excuse me, I'd say the Secret Garden bundle's not bad. Like, MSRP on the sucker is like 60 to 70. So obviously the current inflated price of like 225 is not great. 240. It's not great. could be a lot better. But if you're really in the market, I think this is a pretty good art, and it is cheaper than the overnumbered right now. I think I'll probably wait on this until I end up going to an event, kind of getting it as like a souvenir. But for the value that you're getting, this isn't bad. Like, pure math wise, if you wanted all three of these, the box is currently like marginally cheaper than this, and then you also get, I think, a couple of bird tokens or something like that on the side. So it's not bad value. Yeah, you get the Poro, Ivern, Lilia. I believe these are bird and brush tokens. I'm not 100% sure on the backside of it. I didn't even know you got boosters in there, but it's not bad value. Alright, and then let's circle around to Vendetta. I think that everything in this set is currently overpriced, or everything that's in the high rarity category. I guess I'll kind of circle around to it. So I made a video 2 weeks back for the Market Watch, and I said that things are overpriced, and I stand by that. I am surprised and a little disappointed that Alawi jumped up. I don't know if this was because of her reveal or if it was just all of the overnumbers are being bought out. I will say there are abnormally low listings on some of these. Like having a 7 on Rengar or M-Pesa is pretty unusual. Usually I'd expected to see closer to like 20 or higher. So I've been watching these over the past couple days. Like you'll see some that end up hitting a floor, and then they kind of get bought out, and then they settle at a higher price, but we end up having a lower sales volume. Which, that's basic supply and demand. That's obviously going to happen. I'm acting like it's unusual to see a graph like that, but my point is more so in a healthy card game, in a healthy game state, you'll see kind of a steady ebb and flow of sales. You don't see, let's see, Teemo is probably a bad example, but okay, this is a little more reasonable. Like, you can kind of see here, we had a steady ebb and flow of sales here, and then you see this kind of sharp decline on this end, which we start seeing the buyout, and that's kind of a poor example of it. But my point is not that, oh, there's no sales, therefore game's not healthy. My point is more so it's an unusual patch on the graph, if that makes sense. Like, okay, this is a better example. This is a healthy buy and sell. This is when it came out. Something probably happened around here. Maybe we had more of them come out. Maybe we had a Victor deck do well that was running Victor Leader. So who knows what that could have been. This was around when we started seeing the buyouts. And then after the buyouts, we see very few items sold. Obviously, you have something at a higher price. It's a more premium item. You're going to have fewer people who are able to afford it or inclined to purchase it, especially if they think it's not worth the price. But this is not indicative of a healthy market to me. I would expect the price to be driven down to meet demand, because if there's demand at $90 but it's 102, then if nobody's buying, someone's eventually gonna list for 90, and then it's gonna start selling for 90, and then you work your way downwards. But instead we're just seeing it sit here. Okay, well, we're seeing a little bit of an uptick, but you kind of get my point. Like, it's just a little concerning to me. I'm more of an accounting guy, not an economics guy, but I think hopefully my point is still somewhere in there. Maybe you can decipher it. But anyways, yeah, I think all the overnumbers in this set are obscenely high. Back in the day, you'd see Darius at $40. I mean, even now, Master Yi, I believe, was like 40 to 50. But that doesn't explain to me why, like, Renekton, not playable, not a good all, is at 60 still. Like, that's weird to me. I expect it to be a little lower. Maybe we'll see it creep down. I don't know. But I'm a little worried that we're setting like a really high floor. Nasus has been fluctuating between, like mid 50s and 70s. Like this one I kind of get. Nasus, Renekton, cool cards, popular. Then it's Kha'Zix. It's like, I don't think you're buying this unless you want this and Rengar. Like, you want the pair. This is not a playable card. So it's unusual for me to see it at 65. It's kind of like Furry Darius from Spiritforge. Like, might be an okay art. It's just not a playable card. So we're seeing a shift from playability to investment, I guess, which is a little unfortunate in my view. Ahri bounced way more than I thought she would. I kind of called this settling closer to like 50, 60. Kind of underestimated the Ahri crowd, I guess, once again. I'd like to reiterate, this is a normal alt art. This is in an alt art slot. This is the only card that is anywhere near this price point for that rarity. Even Lux and Sona are lower than that, and I'd still say these guys are overpriced. But, it is what it is. I don't want this video to just be like me whining about prices. but it is a little bit of where the market's at, I guess. So, you know, hopefully if you don't enjoy it, then click off. But I'm trying to at least just share my opinion. I'm using this as a creative outlet. Astro Heron is priced just because of Nasus, I believe. I don't think anyone else is running this right now. People are speculating that Nasus is pretty good, and I think he is. So I think that's fine. Lightning Rush, staple in Cannon. Cannon's good. Lightning Rush is high. And then same with the other, I don't know why these aren't loading, but the more popular cards in the current meta. Obviously are going to be a little more expensive, so I'd expect these to cool off a little bit in the coming weeks. Kali maybe not so much, but like if we see decks start to kind of fall to the wayside once people finish experimenting, then we might see a little dip. But I think a lot of these are pretty reasonably priced for playable cards. Like you want your Mbesic cards, you can grab those pretty easily. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else too surprising here. Yeah, well, there's a lot of really playable cards that are relatively cheap right now, which is nice. So, you know, you want your playable cards, go on ahead and scoop them up. But I think that brings us to our last subject, which is I just pulled up all of the promo cards. And I'll just kind of like go down the list real quick. So, Teemo obviously has been a big target for buyouts. I like this card, but I don't really get the price point. So, you know, you do you. Sitting at around 1,800. And I think, yeah, he has sales to support that. So, Teemo is off like a rocket. So, you know, kind of missed the boat on that one. Oh well. The Worlds bundle also really took off. A lot of the price increases that I saw when I was playing One Piece and that I still see are exclusive items that are, of course, limited print run. People speculate on them and people buy them up because they can easily manipulate the market. It just happened with the One Piece English 3rd anniversary. MSRP on that was 125, I believe, and it's now north of 1,000, I think, last I checked. Maybe it dipped down a little bit. But, you know, it's a little ridiculous. Because it's like, alright, we had a bundle here that was, what, like maybe $200? For $800? I don't know what this one was. But then single card is 1,100. So, it's a little weird to me. Supply and demand. Mel, this is our new Nexus Night chase card. I went to a Nexus Night on Friday, and someone's girlfriend ended up pulling this, which was pretty entertaining. Made a pretty funny gasp when I saw that. She's like, oh, shiny card. And I was like, oh, God. This card's not, like, it's good. It's just not played outside of, like, you know, Mel herself, Ari, and any control deck that wants to focus on minusing might tech her in. But people are speculating that it's going to be the same price point as Teemo. The similar story with the Arcane box set. This thing took off like a rocket and then hasn't really sold a whole lot since. I did not get one of these. I kind of wish I did, just for collecting value or collecting purposes, but I definitely won't at this price. And then Lee Sin Center just kind of makes me laugh because this is the one Nexus Night promo that I've pulled. It's really funny to me that people tried to do a buyout here, I think, and it just didn't take. It's just not a great card. It's not terribly popular. Lee Sin's not playable. It's a dad joke. So it just kind of has petered out. I expect it to keep going down. So, perfectly fine with that. I don't know why our images aren't really loading here, but nothing terribly surprising here. Anything in the Arcane box set or the Worlds bundle, such as the Battlefields here, are going to be pretty highly marked. The Origins promo cards have been getting bought out, although they were already on the uptick just because there's not a huge number of those floating around out there. So, you know, that's what it is. And then, aside from that, I don't think there's too much else to go over. I did want to applaud TCG player for finally... oh, and here's the flash promo that you can get from your store. They finally started marking metal best of. For the longest time, it was just like metal and then prize wall or something like that. And it kind of got confusing. Or no, it was like prize wall and then metal or something. And people were just listing on both for just the prize wall. So you'd get varying price points depending on where you looked, which didn't make a whole lot of sense. So good on them for finally listing best of. You know, our data is still a little polluted off the fact that people were listing in the wrong spot, but, you know, I'm sure people can figure that out. Metal cards got scooped up, obviously, with the buyouts. I don't think there's anything too interesting here. I'm a little surprised. Okay, yeah, metal versus prize wall. You know, you get a metal card, you can list it for whatever you want. Nobody wants it, but for these, like, these are the pinnacle of someone's collection in this game. I'd argue these are on the same level, if not higher, than the Nasher from Unleash. So, you know, you want to list this for an obscene amount of money, you go right ahead. I got no problem with this. As long as it doesn't affect playability or is, like, complete market manipulation, then you do you. That's kind of where I draw the line. So, but with that being said, I've rambled for about half an hour. I want to thank y'all for joining me on this one. Oh, actually, real quick. This was the ribbon that you could get at Gen Con, I believe, if you were playing in side events. Obviously, a scarce card. People speculating on it, so it's going to be expensive. Anywho. With that being said, thank you for joining me. I know this was a little bit of an incoherent rambling, but I just kind of wanted to share my opinions on this. It's still kind of a tumultuous time with Riftbound. I'm hoping we'll see a little more settling, and I hope Riot just prints things into the ground. I wish everybody luck with the T1 drawing. I am crossing my fingers and toes on that one, that I get my name pulled from the hat, but honestly, that's one where I might buckle and end up purchasing it on the secondary market. I have a couple one-piece things that I can trade towards it, so we'll just have to wait and see. But with that, hope y'all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Farewell.